Hi, how are you doing? This is Antonio Galimberti. Welcome to this class. Welcome to this class. This is class number 61. My name is Antonio Galimberti and I'm connected here from Lima, Peru. And what are we going to be doing? We are going to be talking about this. Suggestions on health. How to give suggestions on health. All right, this is class number 61. And to be able to give suggestions on health, we need to review things like should, have to, simple present, and conditionals. Remember, we use should to give advice, have to talk about necessity, the simple present to talk about facts, and conditionals, of course, to express conditions. And then we have this set of four pictures. We will use them during the class to describe them in order to practice test taking strategies for international exams. The same with this card. We will create a conversation using the card. Then also we're going to write a paragraph with 158 words about 3 healthy habits that you have. We will review vocabulary and practice pronunciation using phonetic symbols. If you're interested in online English classes, please visit our website www.aglanguages.com or send us an email at info@aglanguages.com. You can also send us a WhatsApp message. Are you interested in online English classes? We offer classes for all levels, all ages, and all needs. Thank you very much, Mayra Bracho, one of our students. She very kindly took these pictures for us and sent the pictures to us from the US. And thank you very much for interacting with the content that we have on different social media platforms. At the end of the class, we're going to have a Q&A session. So if you are connected to this class and you're watching the class live, then you can write your questions there. I can see people connected there. So thank you very much for being right there with me today. Are you ready for the speaking part of this class? I am ready. Here we go. Hi, my name is Antonio Galimberti. Welcome to this speaking class, class number 61. Today we are talking about suggestions on health. In order to do it, we need to review the use of should. We use should to give advice. All right, so you can make sentences like this. To make a sentence with should, to give a suggestion, to give advice, you first need the subject in light blue, then the modal verb should in yellow, and then a verb in base form in orange. And it doesn't matter what your subject is, it can be you, he, they, she, it, we. You will always use should and a verb in base form. So light blue, you, he, she, they. Yellow, should. Orange, sleep more. Sentences. You should sleep more. He should sleep more. They should sleep more. You don't have to worry about conjugating the verbs when making sentences with should. Depending on the subject, it's not necessary. Now, if you want to make a sentence using in negative form, you just change from should to shouldn't. Should, shouldn't. And after shouldn't, you put a verb in base form. And again, it doesn't matter what the subject is, you will always use shouldn't. You shouldn't eat late at night. He shouldn't eat late at night. Or they shouldn't eat late at night. If you want to make a yes no question, then you have to change the order of the words. For example, for an affirmative sentence, you have light blue, yellow, orange. For a negative sentence, you have the same thing. Light blue, which is the subject, yellow, which is the modal verb, and orange, which is the verb. But for a yes-no question, first you start with yellow. Then you have light blue, and then orange. In this case, you have the modal verb should, then the subject in light blue, and then a verb in base form in orange. In this case, you can ask questions like this. Should I see a doctor? Should he see a doctor? Should they see a doctor? Nice. And some short answers can be yes, you should, no, you shouldn't, yes, he should, no, he shouldn't, yes, they should, or no, they shouldn't. Nice. With this, should, you are expressing you're giving advice, okay? You're giving advice. And remember, when you pronounce this, you have O and U when you write it, right? Look at yellow. You have O and U when you write it. You also have L when you write should. However, in the pronunciation, you don't have O. It's like uh, 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 a weak U, and no L. Should, should, should. Good. Now, if you want to express necessity, you're talking about your health, and you want to express necessity, you have to. Have to is like a model. That's why it is called a model-like expression. Have to. And when you want to say that something is necessary, you use have to. With have to, you do need conjugating, all right, the verb. So for example, if your subject is you or they, number one and number two, you have to use have to. But if your subject number three is he or she, you have to say has to express necessity in affirmative sentences. So you're going to go from have to has to, depending on the subject. Number one. And then in orange, you will have a verb in regular form without any changes. Correct? Number one, you have to drink more water. It's necessary. They have to drink more water. It is necessary. Number three, he has to drink more water. It is necessary. Right? Now, if something is not necessary, what do you use? Don't have to or doesn't have to, depending on the subject. For example, you don't have to drink more water. It's not necessary. They don't have to drink more water. It's not necessary. Number three, he doesn't have to drink more water. It's not necessary. So again, you have the subject, you, they, he. Then you have don't have to or doesn't have to, depending on the subject, yellow. And then in orange, you have a verb in base form, in dictionary form. If you want to make a question, a yes no question using have to, you have to start with the auxiliaries or the auxiliary. In this case, it can be do or thus, depending on the subject. If your subject is I or they, then your auxiliary has to be do, do, do. If your subject is he, number three, light blue, three, he, your auxiliary is does, number three, does. So in this way, you ask about necessity. Number one, do I have to take antibiotics? Number two, do they have to take antibiotics? Number three, does he have to take antibiotics? In this way, you are asking about a necessity. Okay, so the only thing you have to pay attention to is the auxiliary. All right, from do to does, depending on the subject, depending on light blue. Have to is always going to be have to, and then take the verb in base form. Correct. And how do you answer questions with have to? Yes, you do. No, you don't. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Yes, they do. No, they don't. So you also have to be careful here with the auxiliary because you're going to use the right auxiliary depending on the subject. If it is you, do. If it is he, does. If it is they, do. Correct? We are going to use all of this grammar to practice test-taking strategies. Let's imagine that you want to take the Pearson English International Certificate. We also offer preparation for this exam. So if you're interested in getting an international certification, you can contact us and we can give you the training that you need. And when you take that exam online, you have a task, a speaking task, and there's a description like this. And you have the description, number one, of the task, and then instructions on how to carry out a conversation with a partner. Okay, so you have to use this card to create a conversation between two people based on the instructions. So let's see the instructions here. It says, imagine you are talking to a doctor about your health. Your partner is the doctor. He will ask you questions and make comments. Okay, so these are the instructions. And here This is what you have to do. Okay, but which grammar are you going to use today? Since we're talking about suggestions on health, this is the grammar we will be addressing. Should, have to, simple present, and conditionals. Should to give suggestions, have to express necessity, simple present to talk about facts, and conditionals to express conditions, of course. So let's go over the card. First of all, greet the doctor, then tell him why you are seeing him. Number 3, mention a symptom. Number 4, tell him why you think you have that symptom. Next, ask a question to the doctor about his recommendations. And finally, thank the doctor. Can you create a conversation following these instructions? Of course. This is an example. Do you see light blue? In light blue, you have the doctor. In yellow, it's you, right? Okay, so light blue, 1. Good morning, Juan. That's the doctor. Yellow, 1. Good morning, Dr. Perez. Light blue, 2. So, how are you? How can I help you? Yellow, 2. Well, I have a stomach ache. Light blue, 3. Oh, can you describe it? Yellow, 3. Sure, my stomach hurts very hard, especially after some meals. Light blue, 4. Why do you think it happens? Yellow, 4. I think it is because I don't usually eat at home. I eat a lot of junk food and drink little water. I eat a lot of junk food and drink little water. Little water. Light blues, 5. I think you should change your eating habits. You have to eat vegetables and fruit. Yellow, 5. Should I stop eating certain foods? Light blue, 6. Not really. If you start eating more balanced meals, you will feel better. Yellow, 6. Thank you, doctor. Okay, here we are missing the last name. No, we should have Dr. Perez. But what grammar do we see here? Okay, have we included any of the information we have been discussing so far? Yes, light blue, 5. If you want to give a suggestion, what do you use? You should change. You should change. Subject, you, auxiliary verb, should, verb, change. If you want to express necessity, you have to eat. It's necessary. You have to eat. Subject, you. Modal like expression, have to. Verb in base form, eat. Number 6, conditional. If you start eating more balanced meals, that is the condition, and then you have the result. You will feel better. So to write conditionals, you need to use if, then the subject, you, and then start, a verb in base form. Correct? Next, yellow. More grammar. Number 2, a simple present to talk about facts. I have a stomach ache, and then you talk about your pain. Number 3, my stomach hurts. Okay, to mention what part of your body hurts. Number 5, should I stop? To ask for advice. Should I stop eating certain foods? You have should, the modal, then I, the subject, and stop, the verb in base form. Now, let's talk about the A2 Key Cambridge exam. When you take this exam, you're given a set of pictures and you have to describe what you see in the pictures and create a story based on the pictures. This is basically a writing task, but at AG Languages we do it as a speaking task, right? And if you want training also for taking this exam, you can contact us, okay, and we can help you out with the preparation that you need. So you have the 4 pictures and the context is suggestions on health. So which grammar can you use to describe what you see in the pictures? Should, to give advice, have to express necessity, simple present to talk about facts, and conditionals to introduce conditions, right? So you have the 4 pictures here. In the first picture, it seems that she has a stomach ache, then you may see a runny nose, then you may see a headache, and then a woman sleeping. Maybe she's sick. So what can we see? First picture, or what can we say? First picture, she often has stomachache when she eats spicy food. What do we have here? Simple present to talk about facts. She, subject, often, frequency adverb, has the verb in simple present conjugated into the in the third person singular because your subject is she. Next, she eats spicy food. Subject, she eats is your verb, okay, in the third person singular or in third person singular. She eats. Number two, suggestions. She should be more careful when she chooses what to eat. She should be, advice, suggestions. Subject, she, verb, modal verb, should, verb, be. She should be. Okay. Now, next, she chooses. She chooses. You have she, the subject, and chooses is the verb conjugated in simple present to talk about facts. She should be, suggestion. She chooses, fact, simple present. Look at the conditioning number three. If she has stomachache after a heavy meal, she drinks some tea. All right, the condition, if, subject, she, verb, has, and you have the whole condition and a comma, and then you have a fact to show the result. Subject, she, verb, drinks, conjugated, she drinks. Nice. Second picture, when she has a cold, she doesn't go to work. These are facts. Subject, she, verb, has, she has, conjugated, third person singular. She doesn't go to work. Subject, she, auxiliary, doesn't. It's doesn't because your subject is she. She doesn't go. Go is in base form. You are not changing go. Why? Because you already have doesn't. Okay, number two, she doesn't have a hot lemonade when she has a cold because she doesn't like it, but she should have one. All right, so yellow, facts. Orange, advice, suggestions. So she doesn't have. She, subject, auxiliary, doesn't, verb, have in base form. Next, she has. Subject, she, verb, has, conjugated in third person singular. She doesn't like. Subject, she, auxiliary, doesn't, because the subject is she, and verb, like, in base form. You don't have to change the verb because you have an auxiliary. When you have an auxiliary in the simple present, you do not change the verb. Suggestion, she should have. Subject, she, modal verb, should, verb, have. Perfect. Number three, condition. If she has a runny nose, she gets angry. So you have the condition in light blue, and then you have the result in the other clause, in the other part of the sentence. In the condition, you have if, the conditional, then you have she, the subject, and you have has, the verb. If she has a runny nose, she gets angry, 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 right? In the condition, you have if, conditional, she, subject, has, verb. In the fact in yellow, you have she, the subject, and gets, the verb. Next, when she has too much work, she usually gets a headache. Facts in yellow, facts, simple present. She, subject, has, verb, conjugated. She has. Number three, she usually gets. She, subject, usually, frequency adverb, gets, verb, conjugated. She gets, she gets, she usually gets. Number two, conditional. If she gets a headache, okay, she result, what happens? She takes a break and chats with a friend on a video call. So conditional, the conditional if, subject she, and the verb gets, conjugated. She gets, she gets. Next, facts. She takes, she chats. So you have subject she, then you have verb takes, and then you have another verb chats. Number three, advice, suggestions. She shouldn't work so much. She shouldn't work so much. Subject she, verb shouldn't, and the modal verb shouldn't, and work is the verb in base form. She shouldn't work. Nice, good. And you have this. So one more picture. When she's sick, when she is sick, she sleeps in. A subject she, verb is, okay, this is a verb to be. You cannot say she are, she you have to say she is, correct? And then she sleeps in, right? Simple present to talk about facts. Now condition, but if she's not sick, that is the condition. conditional if, then she, the subject, and the verb in negative form is not. Then you have a fact, the result. She sleeps for less than 6 hours. Subject she, verb sleeps. Number three, she should always sleep for 8 hours. She should always sleep for 8 hours. Subject she, should, modal verb. Then you have a frequency adverb between the modal verb and the verb. Always. And then you have a verb in base form. Remember, every time that you're using a modal verb like should, you don't have to use a verb in a conjugated form. No, it's in base form, in dictionary form. If you want to watch the whole video, visit agelounges.com. What will you find, or what can you find on our website? You can visit our blog right there, agelanguages.com/blog, and you have access to free readings for you or your students. agelanguages.com @readings. Okay, share the link, share the link. And if you're interested in online English classes, please visit our website, www.agelanguages.com. Send us an email, send us a WhatsApp message. We will be happy to help you out with your English. All levels, all ages, all needs. That's what we teach. And thank you very much, Mayra Baracho, for your help with the beautiful pictures. You took the pictures and you shared the pictures with us. Nice. And thank you for interacting with our content on social media, on the different platforms. Please leave your comments, leave your questions, and follow us on Instagram, also on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and subscribe to this YouTube channel and like this video. Are you ready for the next part of the class? Okay, let's see. Are there any people connected? Yes, we have some people connected. So thank you very much. If you have any messages there, you can leave your messages and you can leave your questions too. All right, I will be happy to answer your questions. So what are we going to do? We're going to have the writing class, and this is what we are going to do now. Welcome to this writing class. My name is Antonio Galimberti, and this is class number 61. Today we are writing a paragraph about what? About 3 healthy habits. This is class 61, and this paragraph has 158 words. And it's about suggestions on health, and the grammar that we will review is the following. We will review should to give advice, have to express necessity, the simple present to talk about facts, and also conditionals to give conditions, right? That is what we will cover while writing this paragraph. The title is 3 Healthy Habits, and this is class 61, and the paragraph has 158 words. I will be reading the paragraph, and while I'm doing the reading, please try to identify the target language. Which is the target language? This is the target language. Examples of should, examples of have to, the simple present, and conditionals. And if you can find something else that you believe can help you out when writing a paragraph in the future, well, identify that target language and use it. So I will start by reading the sentences, the whole paragraph, and then we will address specific characteristics of the paragraph in terms of organization and also grammar. Here we go. There are 3 simple things you should have in order to be healthy. Oh, sorry. There are 3 simple habits. There are 3 simple habits you should have in order to be healthier. First of all, you shouldn't use a cell phone for at least 1 hour before going to bed. Experts say that you can sleep better if you disconnect yourself from screens such as TVs, computers, tablets, and cell phones 1 hour before bedtime. Something else you should do is go to bed no later than 10 p.m. This is important because some of our body functions reset themselves after 10 p.m. only if you are sleeping by that time without any noise or light. Finally, you should sleep for 8 hours every night. Doctors say that if you do it, you can have more energy. focus better on what you do, and enjoy having a positive mood during the day. Therefore, if you think you have to make some changes in your habits, you shouldn't forget about improving your sleeping related routines to be healthier. Uh-huh. You shouldn't forget about improving your sleeping related routines to be healthier. Nice. So, what can we say about this paragraph? Well, it has an introductory sentence and also a concluding sentence. The introductory sentence is talking about three simple habits that you can have, of course, to be healthier. If you read the whole paragraph, you can identify those three simple habits. And the concluding sentence says, therefore, if you think you have to make some changes in your habits, it's talking about habits, you shouldn't forget about improving your sleeping related routines, the three habits that are mentioned in the paragraph to be healthier. So both the introductory sentence and the concluding sentences, both are related. Okay, so that's a good way to start and finish a paragraph. What do we see here? Examples of should and have to. Should in orange and have to in green. Remember, you use should to give advice, to give suggestions. You use have to talk about necessity, things that are necessary. Examples, you should have. Subject, you, modal verb should, have, verb in base form. Next, you shouldn't use. Subject, you, modal verb shouldn't, verb use, verb in base form. It doesn't matter what the subject is. Next, you should do. Subject, you, verb, modal verb should, verb do in base form. Next, you should sleep. Subject, you, a modal verb should, a verb in base form, sleep. Next, you shouldn't forget. Subject, you, modal verb shouldn't, verb forget. Okay? So, one, two, three. One, two, three. Subject, you, modal verb should or shouldn't, and then a verb in base form. Now, what happens with yellow or yellow, green? Have to express necessity. Have to. Subject, you, have to, model like expressions to express necessity, and make, a verb in base form. So you have to make. Subject, you have to, model like expression, make the verb. Nice. So what else do we see? Examples of the simple present to talk about facts. Example, there are three simple habits. Subject, three simple habits. There are, to talk about existence. Next, experts say. A subject, experts, verb, say. Next, you disconnect. Subject, you, verb, disconnect. Next, this is a subject, this verb is. Next, some of our body functions reset. Subject, some of our body functions, verb, reset. Next, doctors, verb, say. Next, subject, you, verb, do. Next, subject, you, verb, think. So here we're using the simple present to talk about facts. Okay? Now, here we have one, two, three, four examples of conditionals. Look at how a conditional can start. If plus the subject, you plus a verb, disconnect. If you disconnect yourself from screens such as TVs, computers, tablets, and cell phones 1 hour before bedtime, the result is mentioned before in this case. Next, if you are sleeping by that time without any noise or light, the condition or the result is mentioned before that. Next, if you do it, then you have the result there after that. You can have more energy, focus better on what you do, and enjoy having a positive mood during the day. So if you do it, that is the condition. And finally, if you think you have to make some changes in your habits, the key part we are focusing on here is if you think. Subject if, conditional if, subject you, and the verb in base form. Here in this case, you can conjugate the verb, of course, depending on the subject, because you're not using a modal here. If you think, that's it. Okay, so that is how you can build conditionals. If, subject, verb, and then you have a whole clause that is 50% of the sentence. And after the conditional clause or before the conditional clause, you will have the result. That is what happens. So if you want to express a condition, use if, subject, and verb. And we have examples of another model, which is can. We use can to talk about possibility. We can use it also to express ability, but in this case, it is about possibility. You can sleep, you can have, you can focus, you can enjoy. Subject you, modal verb can, and your verb sleep in base form. You can sleep, you can have, you can focus, you can enjoy. 1, 2, 3. All right? Nice. And here some transitioning words, transitioning phrases, and connectors to organize your paragraph nicely. Number one, first of all, green, first of all, and then you start talking about the first habit. Next, green, something else you should do, something else you should do, and then you start writing about the second habit. Finally, and you continue talking about the third habit. Therefore, your final conclusion. Therefore, nice. And you have because in yellow, since that word can help you introduce a reason. So basically, green, pay attention to green. Look at those, I call them transitioning phrases, transitioning words, because they allow you to move from one point to another, okay? From the first point to the second point, from the second point to the third point, from the third point to your final conclusion, right? Or your concluding statement, I should be saying. If you want to write a paragraph like this that is divided into three main ideas, you can make a graphic organizer like the one you see on the screen. You can talk about three different habits. And while you organize your ideas, or when you organize your ideas, you can first of all mention your habit and then explain what you mean, okay, or what that is about. Look at habit number 2. You also see an underlined phrase. So that here, that phrase is mentioning the habit. But what is next is explaining what the habit is about or why that habit is important. In number 3, you also have an underlined sentence. That underlined sentence is mentioning the habit, and right after it, you have a group of ideas, and those words, that those ideas are supporting, explaining, illustrating the mentioning that you did before, right? So what do I mean? When you organize your ideas, you shouldn't only divide your whole outline into 1, 2, 3, and that's it. No, when you take notes, you can mention the habit and then you develop it. Then you mention the second habit and you develop it. Then you mention the third habit and you develop it. If you organize your ideas like that while working on your graphic organizer, you will be able to write a paragraph like this with 158 words to talk about 3 healthy habits using should, have to, and stuff like that. Please visit our website, agelounges.com. You can watch the whole class and more videos there. Also, you will find our blog at agelounges.com/blog. There you can read articles about learning and teaching English. And if you're interested in practicing your reading skills, your reading comprehension, visit agelounges.com/readings. Right? And if you want to learn English or practice your English, please visit our website, send us an email, send us a message on WhatsApp, and we can help you. It doesn't matter what your level is, what your age is, or what your needs are. Right? We teach English for all levels, all ages, and all needs. Thank you very much, Mayra Bracho, for the beautiful pictures that you took and that you later shared with us. And please interact with our content on social media. Thank you if you are doing it. And leave your comments, your questions down there. And please visit us on Instagram and follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, also on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you don't want to miss any of the classes. Ready? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you have had lunch already. Hi, Mariana Acori. Very nice for connecting. Thank you very much for being there. So now, what do we have here? Now we have a vocabulary and pronunciation. Nice. Okay. Welcome to this vocabulary and pronunciation class. This is class number 61. So it's been 61 weeks already. Wow, that's a long time. And today we will be talking about health. Not necessarily suggestions on health, that is the topic of the whole class, but this part of the class is about talking about our health. All right? Or if we have a pain, all right, and we will use the simple present. For example, if you want to describe a physical problem that you have, you can memorize this phrase: I have a, I have a, I have a, I have a, and then you mention the problem. I have a headache. I have a stomach ache. I have a cold. I have a temperature. I have a sore throat. I have a runny nose. Correct? That is what you can do. Okay, so memorize I have a, I have a, I have a, and all of those words and phrases that you see right after it, after I have a headache, I have a stomach ache, I have a cold, I have a temperature, I have a sore throat, I have a runny nose. Nice. Now, you can also talk about parts of your body in singular and plural, and then use the verb hurt. Hurt. Okay, in singular, my leg hurts. You need S because you have to conjugate the verb, third person singular. My leg hurts, singular. My foot hurts. Okay, singular. Then you have my legs hurt. Yeah, plural, so no S. You don't say hurts for plural. You say it for singular. For plural, no S. My legs hurt. My feet hurt. So memorize this. In this case is I have a and the problem, correct? And here is your body and the verb hurts or hurt. It is the same verb, but it's conjugated. Hurts for singular, hurt for plural. Let's improve our pronunciation using the phonetic symbols from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. 8 letters for this word, 5 sounds, 2 syllables. The first syllable is the stressed syllable. You have a in the first syllable, you have a in the second syllable. That a with a hat, a. Pronunciation, headache, headache. Second word, 11 words, or 11 letters, I should say, 8 sounds, 3 syllables. The first syllable is the stressed syllable, and the last syllable is the secondary, has the secondary stress pattern. Okay, first syllable second syllable third syllable a with a hat, a. Stomach ache, stomach ache, stomach ache. Number 3, 5 letters, 5 sounds. U when you write it, schwa when you pronounce it. Hurts, 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 hurts. Okay, next, 4 letters, 4 sounds. You write it without O, and you pronounce it with O with a hat. That is O. Cold, cold. Number 5, 11 letters, 9 sounds, 3 syllables. Stressed syllable, the stressed syllable is the first one. Then the third one also has some stress, but it is the secondary stress. First syllable, e. Second syllable, schwa, Third syllable, u, okay? Temperature, 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 temperature. Next, number 6. 5 letters, 3 sounds. You have O and U when you write it. You have G and H when you write it. But when you pronounce it, you have O, O, O. And G and H turns into F in this word. Cough, cough, cough. Nice. 7. 4 letters, 3 sounds. E, goodbye E. You don't pronounce it. And the vowel sound is O. Sore, sore. Okay. Now, 6 letters here, 4 sounds. And when you write it, you have O and A. When you pronounce it, you only have O with a hat, which sounds like O, O. So, throat, throat. Number 9, 5 letters, 4 sounds, 2 syllables. The first syllable is the stressed syllable, and you have a schwa, you don't have a u. And in the second syllable, you have e with a hat, which sounds like e, e. It is the very same sound that the vowel has in the alphabet, e, e. So the pronunciation, runny, 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 runny. Number 10, 4 letters, 3 sounds. You have an O when you write it, pronunciation O with a hat. When you write it, you have S, pronunciation Z. Okay, and that A just disappears. Or sorry, that E disappears. Pronunciation O, nose, nose, nose. If you want to watch the whole class or want to watch other videos that we have recorded, please visit agelanguages.com. There you will also find our blog at agelanguages.com/blog. We have articles about learning and teaching English. And if you want free readings to practice your reading comprehension, visit agelanguages.com/readings. Interested in online English classes, please visit our website www.agelanguages.com. Send us an email, send us a WhatsApp message. We will be happy to help you out. We teach all levels, all ages, all needs. Thank you very much, Mayra Bracho, for taking the pictures and for sending the pictures to us. We really appreciate it. She's one of our students. And thank you if you're interacting with our content on social media. Leave your comments, leave your questions, please, and follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, also on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. And please like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Do you have any questions about today's class? All right, Mariana Cody, thanks for the class, teacher. Yes, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here and for being connecting or for connecting every single week. Today the class was about suggestions on health, and this is the grammar that we reviewed. Should, to give suggestions, have to talk about what is necessary, what you need to do, the simple present also to talk about facts, conditionals to express conditions, of course. And visit our website. Thank you very much, agelanguages.com, for making this video and this class possible. And thank you for being here live and also for watching the recorded class. See you next week. Bye bye.